Now, you've probably heard that Las Vegas is getting expensive. And while that is true, it kind of always has been, and that's especially true for Las Vegas strip clubs. They've always been a little bit more expensive than kind of your average local strip club. However, there's a small strip club in town that's actually extremely affordable. Um, Most locals already know about this club. However, a lot of people that come here as a tourist don't know that this club exists. And when tourists come to town, they usually think of the larger clubs here, like Palomino, Hustlers, uh, Peppermint Hippo, and those kinds of clubs. However, there's a small club that's only about 5 minutes from downtown, or about 10 to 15 minutes from the strip. It's small, however, it's a great value if you can get past a few of the shortcomings. The club is called Chica Bonitas. It's kind of an all Hispanic club, and a lot of the girls there don't speak English. However, they kind of know enough, and especially if you even know just a little bit of Spanish, that's kind of all it takes. However, it's totally fine if you speak no Spanish, as it's not really necessary, and you can totally have a great time there and not speak any Spanish. It's actually located on the north side of town, and it's actually right next door to Palomino, which is one of the major clubs here in Las Vegas. It's also just across the street from Jerry's Nugget, which is kind of a small locals casino. Now, the one tip there is that if you're either at Palomino or Chica Bonitas and it's pretty late, you can actually go right next door to Jerry's Nugget, and they actually have a pretty good 24-hour restaurant there. So if you kind of need some late night drunk food, it's actually a spot, and it's right across the street. However, back to the strip club, the cover charge is only $5, and that's all the time. So no matter when you go, there's only a $5 cover charge. So at that price, it's really worth it to just stop in. And if, say, you don't like it, it's no big deal because you're only out $5, and then you can actually just walk across the street and go into the Palomino. Also, the drinks there are pretty cheap. I mean, I think you can get almost all beers for around $6 to $8 each. Cocktails and shots kind of go around like $10 to $12. They can be a bit more expensive if you're asking for premium liquor. But now there's two very small stages inside, and you're really up close with the strippers. You're probably about a foot away, so you're like really close, and also a lot of contact is allowed there, and even encouraged. Don't be surprised if the strippers kind of grab you and kind of pull you in. It's kind of that type of club. Now, the private dances are only $20 each, so you can get 5 for a 100. And also, what's cool there is that you don't have to buy in, blocks like at most clubs. They're actually cool if you just buy 2 dances, if that's all you want. Now, the one big downside of this club is that it's kind of a dive bar, and it's pretty, it's not very nice inside. It's also pretty cramped, especially on the weekends. And it really only has one small bathroom, so it can get pretty, it can get pretty gross in there. And also the private dance area really isn't that private. It's like one room, and there's kind of 2 or 3 couches in there, so you pretty much get a private dance with everybody else who's also getting a private dance at that time. However, it's not as bad as it sounds. And that doesn't really stop the girls from getting pretty wild there. They actually do have very good private dances there. So, with all that being said, you can easily have a really good time there for around $200 or maybe a tad more. You can kind of go in, have 2 or 3 drinks. You can tip at the stage, maybe $70 or so in tips at the stage. And then when you find a girl that you like, go back and get 5 private dances. That's $100. So that's pretty much your night. That's actually a pretty good night at a strip club, and you only spent about $200. So that's a lot less than what you're going to spend at any other club here in Las Vegas. So, anyways, I hope you found that helpful. If you're in town and you're interested in hitting up a strip club, but you don't want to spend a ton of cash, definitely check out Chica's. It's only $5. So, I mean, if you don't like it, like I said, you can just go across the street to the Palomino and no big deal. So, anyways, if you are interested in this kind of stuff, make sure to check out my site, truevegaslife.com. I have a lot more info there, and also I go into a lot more detail there. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.